YouTube, hello. Allow someone else to take over.
Alright, Shin, go, do the YouTube intro.
Hello, YouTube. This isn't Ronzi. This is someone else. Ronzi is not doing the YouTube intro today because we've decided to shut him the hell up for once. This isn't going to take 25 minutes like his intros normally do. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment. He responds to comments apparently. Do all the YouTube stuff. We're playing more Final Fantasy, and that's why I'm here. Have fun. Let's roll. Come on.
Play ball!
Holy.
Guys, I unlocked leaves as Kugane.
What do you mean you unlocked the leave? Oh, okay, yeah. Even I haven't done
Levy's
that.
leaves.
Levi.
Levi jeans.
Apparently.
It's your party and I'll tank if I want to.
Or you could do the Dragoon version. It's your party and I'll die if I want to.
Die if I want to.
You would die too if your mentor was blue.
Clip it and ship it.
Clip it and ship it. More songs on this stream.
Get Scilabs in here. And serenade everyone.
But what are we going to do?
Huh? Oh, guide of Final Fantasy XIV. Where do you guide us?
Yeah. I don't think Smiley would mind if we did the first of the 24 mans.
I did just unlock that.
I know he wants to be there for the second.
Yeah.
Is these 24-man raids on this particular site based off of Final Fantasy XII out of curiosity?
Ivalician. Which I think it leans more into Final Fantasy Tactics.
Which is in the same
12.
setting.
Yeah.
Alright. So we can do that, and that's for sure.
I'm gonna do a gamer thing. I'm gonna do this 24-man raid and eat a burger at the same time.
And eat a burger. You ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
As I'll ever be.
Wow. Oh, Mox, did you ever play Monster Train?
No, but I did see you were playing it the other day.
Yeah,
Sequel.
playing the sequel, yeah. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if you put it in there because I mean they're putting the story more in the forefront of it, rather than it just being in the background, as it were.
Gotcha.
By the way, I found everybody's favourite Final Fantasy X character.
Uh-oh. All right. I see what you're picking up.
I have to find you two chuckle nuts now and see exactly what you're talking about, so I can be involved in the funny.
Well, come back to where you picked up your leaves.
Wow. I see what you're talking about.
You know?
I think I'm gonna share a video from Keronzi's Discord. You know, the ones I share that no one watches.
I occasionally watch. To be honest, there's a lot of stuff I don't do that's shared in my Discord.
There's a lot of stuff you don't watch, no matter how it's shared, Keronzi.
Yes, true. Look, I live under a rock for a reason.
Because you're a snail?
No! Because I'm a social
Who's that?
recluse.
No, you're a spider, not a snake.
Oh, what a twisted web you weave, Keronzi.
Well, I mean, I am the epitome of that meme of how it started, how it is with the N64 controllers.
You'll have to explain that one.
Keronzi, don't look behind you. There's a snake.
I know! Isn't she cute? Don't look behind you! There's a tomberry!
Oh god.
I don't think we
Okay.
should...
I brought a nice, friendly clown for everyone.
No! It's after me. I can hear it clapping.
But yeah, no. You at least... You know what the N64 controller looks like, right?
Yeah, like a
With
squid.
the 3 prongs.
3 prongs, yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you wrap the cord round it?
Like in a Japanese sex dungeon.
Exactly!
I didn't wrap my cord around the controller. So I have this method that I take the cable and I just sort of fold it on itself over and over again and then tie the end of it around it and just tuck it in. That's how I've always handled controller cables.
That's another way of doing it.
You know when you're folding cables, you're supposed to put a quarter width turn every time you fold it.
I just fold it.
That's to stop any break in the
Yeah,
wiring.
yeah, it's to help protect the internal wiring.
If the internal copper wiring to my controller can't stand up to my abuse, then that's no controller for me.
Well, it's not just controller wires. I mean, when you're often wrapping 30-meter cables for storage, it comes in handy. Of course, that's, I think, somewhere in the region of about 4,000 American hamburgers.
Oh, I know
Whatever
exactly what you're talking
unit of
about.
measurement is being used over there this week.
Currently, our measurements are 9mm rounds to corn dogs.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's 3 9mm rounds for every corn dog, but if you get 2 9mm rounds, it's only half a corn dog.
What about your third burgers?
I'll have you know, third burgers are illegal, and even mentioning it right now could possibly wind you up in 2 to 3 days of shunning time.
Your third of pounders.
No, you're gonna get me in trouble, Ronzi. Don't stop talking about it. The burger police will get me.
The burger police.
Okay, how many slices of a 12-inch pizza are currently legal?
Well, that depends. Do you slice it like a checkered board, or do you slice it like a chessboard?
I'm
Why?
talking triangle slices.
But we don't do that thing over here. We don't have those kind of acute angles over here.
What,
Only
the
obtuse
devil's
ones?
angles?
That's the devil's ankles.
Well, we are headed back to Victorian times in
Jesus.
Western democracy, so
I was gonna say that's just how bad it is right now.
And besides, we don't do that. I take my pizza and then I cut out the center circle of the pizza with my pizza cutter, and I give everyone else the hula hoop that comes from it. You gotta make sure I get the center bits. That's the tastiest bits.
I disagree with you there much.
Oh, you're one of those crust eaters, aren't you?
The slightly charred bits around the edge.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Perfection.
All right, Magneto.
That's what somebody. That's what somebody who eats wheat would say. We just eat the raw flour. Boy dinner.
Raw flour.
Have you never seen that picture of Sonic the Hedgehog eating a whole bag of flour going boy dinner?
No.
You clearly haven't lived then until you had boy dinner.
I think I'm good.
Alright, let me, Oh, is this really the only... I mean, it's gonna be gross, because it's got a knife on it. But fuck it. I'm gonna grab this off topic as well.
Oh dear. Man, this is taking a while.
It sure is. We only have 4 DPSs, and I'm the only tank still.
We were at 2 tanks and 5 DPS.
Left. Oh, I can't do that.
Apparently you
Where's
weren't
that
in
bird
range of
go?
it.
So there is a game I really want to play. Expedition 33 Clair Obscure.
Yeah.
Looks real fun. I found out about 2 Easter eggs at the beginning of the game, though, that are incredible. I guess the beginning, like, tutorial sequence takes place in a sort of French town and celebration. That's not important. What is important is that the smaller of the 2 Easter eggs is there is a suspicious trash can that you can talk to. And if you talk to it 5 times in a row, a man talks to you from inside the trash can, and he gives you an item that's stabbing him in the butt if you'll leave him alone. And then you can find a hotel that's blocked off by a bunch of luggage. But if you inspect it, you can hear 2 people having sex, apparently. And if you stand there and inspect that interaction for about 5 times, the woman involved in that will go, "Hey, it was kind of exciting at first with you listening in and all, but now it's gotten kind of creepy. So here, take this and go away." And they will also give you a random item.
Does the person in the bin, do they seem grouchy?
No, they're more worried. They've been living apparently in that trash can for 6 months.
That's a long time.
He's hiding from the government.
Holy.
I mentioned the government and the mission started.
They're listening in, Mox.
They're
Don't
listening.
talk about the third burger.
No, Shin! And now I'm gonna have to go into timeout. I'm not even gonna get my apple juice.
Third burgers and vegan dogs.
No! I'm gonna have to write on the chopping board if there's a third burger.
Chocobo!
Chocobo?
Pococho.
Pukacho?
Cuckoo Kachu.
I'm a red chocobo. This is definitely tactics music.
Just try and remember how 24-mans tend to go.
Where we all get wiped on the second encounter.
It's just absolute fucking chaos.
No, they're not ordinary birds. They're red chocobos. Those things will tear you apart.
Also, Keronzi,
Yeah. Too late. Not like I'm watching them.
the blizzard.
Genuinely, cannot imagine.
Well, it seems like a smart thing. Currently trying to draw aggro on things. Well, the main things doing their thing.
Huh. I'll have to fix that later.
Oh god,
Oh.
where do we even stand? I love the panic when we have. Oh, there's no damage.
No, I'm gonna need to, once we're finished here, I need to reapply my, or like, check my mouse's program, because my side buttons aren't working.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Nice. Go!
So, right now, I'm limited to just my single targeted abilities.
Get into the bubbles if you can.
How'd you get into bubble?
Just stand in the bubble. A bit. Reduce your debuffs.
More crowd! We did it.
Did one tank take all 3 groups?
Yes, he did.
Alright.
That's not that uncommon.
Oh, there was a new gem over there. I can tell because I saw the crowd. It's a red choker.
Oh fuck.
Mimics!
There's a white-haired elf to stick her head into when you need them.
We... I think that's crazy. That poor black man, he had to step out of the circle.
Oh no.
I mean, you like tower defense, don't you?
Yeah?
You should be at home with this.
Really?
Yeah, kind of defend towers.
Man, why is there a man thing?
I see what you mean. Well, okay.
Oh shit.
Oh no. There are people dying. Oh no, Dark Elf Holden died.
Probably don't want to be standing underneath those pots. Ow.
Got it. Well, we're already in, I guess. Oh boy.
Pressure check.
Apparently not. Why is there someone limit break?
Down we go. Oh, this is that place. Oh.
Well, it looks like we did kind of split evenly, somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, I was going for one particular
I happen to
Dragged
go
me
into
into
one back.
another.
This is nutty.
This is interesting.
Oh, I love all the broken bones weapons. Charge!
Cowabunga. Now I feel like I'm in Resident Evil 5.
Does the name Lysalia mean anything to you, Mox?
Oh boy. Guess we're doing this now.
Apparently.
So, I'm going to try and explain a mechanic for the next boss. I don't think I'll get done. To do so before that fight starts, otherwise.
Alright.
I'm not going to be too spoilery if I can help it, but do what the angel says, don't do what the demon says.
Alright.
And that's going to be different for every person. Oops, I forgot.
What? Oh, Jesus.
Yep.
I went the wrong way. It's fine.
Just a touch there, sir.
We get into a thing?
Yeah. Try not to get stomped as he comes by.
Oh, too late.
Did we limit break?
Looks like.
Behind the pillar.
They may have done that too soon.
And in the wrong direction from the looks of things. Did it not matter?
No, it does actually.
Don't like that everything's gone dark.
Living through the point of view.
I think you gotta interact with them and get rid of them.
Hey, I made it to the right spot. Alright. You're in their final stretch. And go. Ooh, there's a card.
Yeah, feels wrong. Can't sense the death awaits us. Okay.
Oh, and of course they've started us with the cutscene.
Who dares disturb the slumber of Argath Fadalfos, rightful king of Ivalis? Descendants of House Beowulf? Then by my sword shall I banish your souls to the deepest hell.
Nice.
Alright, let's get in there.
I am Ivalician! You will be judged.
I don't even know what the hell happened.
Kneel and repent.
The angel and the devil.
You are but blood to stains. Does it grieve you to see the depths of your own weakness laid bare? Maggots!
That's uncalled for.
You do not belong in my world. Step into nothing. I am the lies upon which you sup. You will be judged.
Do not understand.
For such wretches, your claim to life is forfeit. You are the blood to stains.
So if you see a devil face, don't
Yeah.
do what the thing alarms you. So I just saw an angel who was telling me to look away.
You will be judged.
So That means I have to look away, otherwise I would have taken it out.
Yeah, but
If you see a devil face, I've now got a devil face, and it's telling me to move, so I have to stay still.
You will be judged. The world has no place for such wretches. Your claim to life is forfeit.
Does that make all sense now?
yeah, but like, where does it tell you?
It should appear up across your screen and then above your head.
Nope.
You should get the flash.
Well, yeah, the faces flash on the screen.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah, but then it doesn't tell me what I need to do or don't do.
it flashes on top of your head afterwards. So you're sure.
Before his master. The dogs have no eyes for cattle. Like sheep before the wolf.
Good game. Ah, Zodiac.
Where am I? This body. This is not my own. Oh, gods, what have I done? Save me! Ramza! Save me!
Victory.
Victory!
Rabbi Master Kobe.
I needed on all three orchestrons and didn't get anything.
I got one of them.
I didn't get any of the orchestrons. Didn't get any of the cards either. That is hilarious. Hey, Kuro. I ended up with 3 pieces of gear, all for the Lancer Dragoon Reaper set.
It's telling
Are
you.
you?
It's telling you something.
Yeah, floor tanking. Are you winning, Ronzi? Debatable. Where am I? Father. Ramza and the Warrior of Light? Yes, I know of you, but that you should come to my rescue? Words fail me. A poor playwright I must sing. Oops. The term you look for is thank you. Upon which note I, Bagman, Bounty Hunter, to humbly thank you, Warrior of Light, for delivering me this fine gift. Now hand over the aura sight, unless you wish to see the desert sand turn red. Be quick. Gijak here does not have the steadiest of hands. That one. She will bring it to me. Yes, this is it, the Duma. And to think we found it so close to Doma. The Duma of Doma. Wahahaha! What? Well, unexpected. Enough bwaggy. We would not have our guests think us underbred. You have what you want, you thieving lizards. Now unhand him. Of course. A Banga is always true to his word. I will be keeping this, though. Father. You've only yourselves to blame for this. But if you mislike the thoughts, you could always blame the gods. Not that they are listening. Get up, fool, we're leaving. You're going to be all right. We cannot see to your father's hurts here. Come on, we must get him back to the Prima Vista. Groan. Father, wake up, father. Please, mother, don't take him from us yet. He is unchanged. Genomis remains in a deep slumber, but his breathing is steady and his fever has subsided. For now, all we can do is wait. I've sent word to Sid. I hope you don't mind. Should you really be sitting up, old man? Alma, Ramza, can you ever forgive me? And you, Sid. It was never my intention to put you to such trouble. I am ever in your debt. You would have done the same for me, Genomus. Besides, it was Ilya here who went to all the trouble. If anyone deserves her thanks, it deserves your thanks, it's hers. He is right. I have done naught to deserve your kindness, yet I am its beneficiary nonetheless. Guess he didn't like the pun. No, I don't think he did. Hope you're doing well, Kuro. So, if I understand correctly, you're saying Auracite does not work to facilitate the possession of a living host by an icon, as was assumed to be the case with Yassail and the Archbishop, but rather absorbs the host's ether, its very soul, and somehow transforms it before returning it to its host's body? If that is the case, our Chilean allies will need to be informed immediately. But I suppose the real question here is, did you find what you came looking for? The legend would have us believe that Delita Hyrel, the commoner who would be king, was the sole hero of the Zodiac Brave story. But as I have discovered, there was another. 2 others, in fact. Sorry, you were going to say something? Malks?
Oh no, I'm slurping.
Okay.
I'm slurping on this drink.
Slurping. Slurping it down. Siblings whose roles faded from subsequent retellings of the story. A brother and sister by the names of Razma and Alma. Then, to prepare for this assignment, I pored over every published work on Ivalician legend, and
Ivalician.
Shush!
Ivalice.
What do you expect of me?
Better.
No!
Pronounce these old English words.
I will never be better. I will never cater to your demands.
Fine.
Ivalician legend. I could lay my hands on.
He said it. He said the word.
And nowhere did I find any mention of these siblings. But I did. I uncovered irrefutable evidence that Delita had a close companion named Ramza, who aided him in his rise to power. This in turn led me to Alma, and that I might never lose sight of the truth, I named my own children after those lost players. I'm sorry I never told you any of this, Sid, but you must believe me. Ivalice has never been a mere pastime. It is, and forever will be, my calling, my purpose. My family's purpose. Go on. The world knows me as Genomis Sen Alexatale, yet that is but my stage name. My true name is Arzalam. Arzalam Durai. In countless generations past, it was my ancestor who penned the Durai Papers, an account of Ivalice and the War of the Lions, which that details what truly occurred during that turbulent era. You are tired, Father. Rest. I will continue. Long ago, an orphan by the name of Oran Durai crossed paths with both Ramza and Delita. After Delita's rise to power, Oran found himself in the service of the pauper become king. Following the War of the Lions, Oran believed the people of Ivalice had a right to know the truth of Ramza's involvement, and set about documenting his deeds. When the church learned of his intent, however, they branded him a heretic and had him burned at the stake. The Durai Papers were never published, and any existing copies were gathered and sealed away in church vaults, the truth about Ivalice along with them. What was so damning that would drive the church to do such a thing. It's a church. They're religious fanatics. That speaks enough. Your sister has been in Ishgard.
Cultists. Cultists.
Do not disparage good cultists. The good name of cultists. We are nothing like those charlatans. Mainly because we have to pay taxes and they don't. The answer to that question can be found in this book, the only surviving transcript of my ancestors' chronicle, copied from an early draft and passed down for untold generations. With this, my father and I plan to reveal the truth and restore honor to my family name. Forbidden Chronicles, a secret family legacy. Not that I doubt you, Genomes, but how do you expect to convince people of all this when well nigh every soul in the realm believes Ivalician to be nothing but a bedtime story? By proving that it is anything but. And when people see that Ivalician was real, the rest will fall into place. Were it as simple as bringing forth the chronicle and submitting it for review, we would of course have done so long ago, but alas, it is not. The derived papers, you see, are written in high... I've already forgotten the name. High Ivalician. An ancient tongue. Shut up! Don't patronize me!
Tells you to shut up when you correct him. He tells you to shut up when you praise him. What does he even want at this point?
It's normally cookies.
Yeah, I have none. I'm disappointed.
Hold on. Opens up your browser. What do I see?
I get rid of them on a hourly basis.
Wow.
No wonder my
I
internet.
suppose with
No
your
one.
browser history, you'd have to.
As to say, no wonder my browsers don't work. An ancient tongue long extinct. My father, his father, and his father before him laboured tirelessly to decipher this soap, but for want of other sources made only fitful progress. A word here, a phrase there. It wasn't until a recent expedition to Ramanastra turned up several well-preserved artifacts that we were able to translate a small portion of the papers. Then the diary stolen by the Banga bounty hunters? I'm afraid so. Everything we had learned of the language was contained in those pages. Then we are back to where we started. Not necessarily. We still have the transcript, and we have some few translated passages, and of course my father's impeccable memory. I have come too far to allow so simple a setback to deter me from my purpose. I will show the world the truth, if it is the last thing I do. It is as Musgarland said. He is a man obsessed, but I fear Ivalician's grip on him will only grow tighter. Father was fortunate to escape Ravanasha with his life, and already he speaks of continuing his quest. Promise me you'll keep him safe. Please. That's not a good sign that there is auracite just on the table there.
It's gonna sound like an odd compliment, but the fact that this cherry limeade drink I have has both an actual real cherry and a giant wedge of lime in it is really impressive.
Hell yeah. After what I've seen here, I am all but convinced that Ivalice exists. Or at least in some form. The problem will be gathering sufficient evidence to convince the thousands of scholars and historians who have based their careers on the presumption that it doesn't. Not that I've ever been one to shy away from a challenge, especially when it means the story of the century. If you're in Ilia, then I'm in. If you're not, well, I'm still in. Either way, you'll be hearing from me again soon. That much I promise. Uninvited. Lena Moelia appears to have been waiting for your arrival for quite some time. Ilia! Where in the world have you been? Did you not receive Alma's summons? Principal Lexatale's research into the Aura site may have finally bore fruit. We must hurry to the Prima Vista before they embark on some grand and perilous adventure without us.
I like the way she goes, well, you know, where in the world have you been when you've literally done nothing but stand in front of it?
Indeed.
By the way, Cherry Aiden Limeade got me into a lot of problems when I was a younger person.
When you were a young whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Family parties where you've got like dozens of adults you're related to and all their kids. And they provide soft drinks for everyone,
Right.
including Perrier and Limeade. One is red, one is green. If you mix them together in the right proportion, they come out as the same sort of light golden colour that lager, beer, does. So when you're like 9 years old and you're wandering around with a pint of what looks like lager,
People might ask some questions.
yes.
Oh dear, you and your scientific nature. Oh, shim.
I mean, it tasted like shit. So, you know, apart from the alcohol, it may as well have been lager.
In her message, Alma mentioned a guest from Charlayan. Someone your companion Sid Garland believed might be able to assist the principal's research? An archetype? I think the term she used. If you would follow me to this shelter, good lady. Yes. Let us go to the Prima Vista. Who have they sent from Charlayan?
Are
Ilya.
you unlocking the next bit, by the way, as well, Mox?
Yes.
Okay.
Just unlocking it.
Ilya,
Yeah.
Lady Moalia, thank you for answering my summons. Master Garland was kind enough to send for an Archon from Charlayan, and I thought it's only right for you to be present to hear her findings. To be frank, summoning Mikoto was more Y'shtola's idea. I simply came along to see what light she could shed on this mystery.
Damn you, Shola.
Well, hello.
Ronzi.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. More must be added to the harem. I don't know what your I don't know what
He
your
says
issues.
that He's not in the reverse harem.
I am Mikoto of House Jinba, a doman. Though my years in Charlayan have made me a stranger here. You must be Ilya Starage, fabled liberator of men, slayer of false gods, warrior of light. I thought you'd be taller. Aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper? And I'm as tall as I can be. I
Being
have...
funny if they said that to a potato.
I have to wonder, what is an Elsian the tallest race?
Rogadin, I think.
Rogadin?
Arrow were with their ears.
Okay, fair. I was wondering, like,
Well, if Hrothgar actually stood up straight.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm wondering is, like, if you played, like, one of the taller races, because technically, yeah, like, female Ura are tiny. Like, would she still have said, I would have thought you'd be taller if you could be the tallest that you could be in the game? That's hilarious.
Well, it's a long-standing trope.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a real thing in like WoW for a while? Like at the beginning days, like when you leveled up, you got taller.
I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't say.
I joined at, like, the arse end of the original. I, like, joined just as Burning Crusade came out. I think I started a few weeks before my birthday, and the Burning Crusade came out on my birthday, or around that time, I believe.
I only played a little bit during the Lich King.
Yeah, I think it was the Lich King expansion, because that's when I kind of came back. What was a Cataclysm I kind of came back? I can't remember. I did own Lich King.
Well, I remember playing WoW with you.
Yes. It was for a very
we would
brief period.
We would just endlessly be downing alcohol to get the blurry, weird, spinny screen effect.
Yeah.
I don't remember, or not remember. I don't understand. I imagine you two sitting at your computers, both sitting in a chair in some kind of like Skype call or something, and just staring at your ceiling, and both of you are just going, "Wow." Next week.
This was before, like...
That was TeamSpeak, wasn't it?
Well, we would have been using TeamSpeak if anything, yeah, but I think we weren't even doing that. I think most of ours, it was still text. Because that's all that we were mostly used to because of City of Heroes, and the guys in AU just were only communicated through in-game chat. HU.
What was it my dad and his friends used? It was like ICQ, I think is what they used.
Yeah, that was that text only?
Not sure, that's not one that I heard of or would use myself.
It's old, real.
Yeah. I mean, I used to talk to people on MSN Messenger all the time.
Yeah, same. MSN Messenger.
AIM.
Yeah, AIM.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And everything was forums and not Discord.
Yep.
Christ, I remember trying to build a goddamn forum and website with a bunch of people in sort of raw HTML.
Oh.
That was nuts.
Yeah, it would be.
Like 4 of us sat around at my house with laptops. Just, yeah, just coding. That was nuts. That was Final Fantasy XI days.
Ooh.
Rumor has it they might be shutting that down.
They've been on the verge of shutting that down for a good 10 years.
Yeah,
As long as it's making profit, they won't shut it.
Yeah. Unfortunate that they might be, but then also the bad side of that is all of the, like, elitists will probably migrate over here.
They already have.
Well, the rest of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Shin's here.
No, Shin was not as bad as some of the horror stories I've heard from players over there.
It was a joke. It was a joke. It was just a joke.
I left because of the elitists.
Let us speak of the crystal. The Otius, one of but many Auricite shards that aided noble Delita's rise to regents. My apologies. The Otius is no ordinary crystal. Even discounting its obvious historical importance, the specimen is more than a simple manifestation of elementally aspected energies. It is, rather, an ethereal lodestone whose facilitation of both absorption and transmission of distinct frequency NRR-type harmonic vibrations has been observed to promote ethereal amplification. The resulting neuroharmonic disturbance allows for a highly unique emittance of CPRS waves that, instead of radiating outward with a determinant factor of dispersal, instead resonates inward at a frequency so laboured, my estimates place the rate of VRT decay at upwards of several centuries. Though I must admit, I lack sufficient varieties to complete a truly comprehensive graphical assessment.
I love it when they talk acronyms.
Well, that explanation may elicit admiring nods from your professors at the academy. It will earn you only blank looks here. Take a deep breath and try again. This time in language that those of us without the echo might comprehend. Duh. My apologies. I merely thought... No, you're okay. Apologies will see us no nearer to an answer. A simpler explanation will. Simpler, right. Aether is not only the building block of all things material, but those immaterial as well. Thoughts, memories, feelings, one's very will are all understood to be ethereal phenomena and can be measured as such. Unlike most crystals, which can only emit elemental energies, Auricite is tuned not only to absorb ether, but ether specific to the immaterial. That ether is then stored and multiplied within its crystalline confines until external stimuli precipitates release. Try again. I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know why we tilted our head. That's exactly what Moonbreeder done. We done with the Under appropriate conditions, a strong will or desire can become imprinted upon the aurosite and stored until fermentation, at which time the desire becomes manifest. Fomentation? What my studious young friend is trying to say is that the Otis takes one's deepest fantasies and makes them reality. Ah, yes, that is simpler. You may choose to think of it, you may choose to think of it as a process akin to that of summoning a primal. There being one marked difference, a primal summoning requires a supplemental energy source, such as a horde of elementally charged crystals. Aurosite, on the other hand, has the capacity to serve as its own source of power. We know from the Durai papers that Argath was never king of Ivalician. He was slain in battle during the War of the Lions. Yet the Argath encountered during the recent expedition carried himself as if he had been crowned regent. I believe this was merely the aurosites in his possession realizing his desire to rule. If I am informed that he uttered the same words over and over again for the duration of the confrontation which unfolded, if that is the case, it is possible that it was not actually Argath who uttered them, but the aurosite itself. If the Durai papers are accurate, Argath was a weak and petty noble who believed that his blood entitled him to power. The aurosite took that belief and twisted it into the abomination Ilya put to the sword. Then are you saying the crystal could prove a threat? The aurosites, Alma, and not necessarily. Ramza seemed to fare well enough. There is no record of the young regent being manipulated by the artifacts he gathered. In the hands of the just, the aurosite should prove harmless, even beneficial. To paraphrase, it is not the weapon that kills, but the one who wields it. Now, where have I heard that before? Oh yes, it was Emperor Galvus' justification for taking the marvels of Magitech and applying them to the manufacture of arms. Where, after all, was the harm if it allowed him to bring order to the three great continents? You draw an intriguing parallel, Master Garland. The properties of these crystals are so singular, I do begin to wonder if they, like Magitech, are products of some science and not nature, that they were created by someone to... But who? What manner of person would even be capable of such a feat? The Asians?
Never the Asians.
Always the Asians.
Never the Asians.
It looks like Sid's got to run. Now that is an interesting question, the answer to which I look forward to hearing. Regrettably, I have pressing matters to attend to elsewhere. Fear not, however, Mikoto's insight will prove far more beneficial than anything I might accidentally contribute. Good day to you all.
Nero's woken up and is demanding a hug.
Yeah, pretty much. What I don't understand is, if this Duma was imprinted with Argath's deepest desires, then whose desires are rattling about inside the Otis? I had the self-same question, and thus conducted a thorough inspection of the crystal upon my arrival. The results were inconclusive. Traces of ethereal activity were present, but to all intents and purposes, the vessel was empty. Empty? But what of the voices I heard? Voices? I heard nothing of the sort. The only voices you heard, Alma, were in your stubborn head. Ramza, why would you... Speak? Shall we speak of voices then? What of yours, Alma, our resident voice of dissent? You have done naught but question the wisdom of our research from the moment we left Garlemald. Would you put your petty worries above our family's calling? No, I would never. You would never. Then why involve a gossip monger, a goody two-shoes, and this flying mole? Please tell me you can see that? Why is there a Moogle here? Why do I get the feeling the Moogle was what was in the aura site? Okay. Ah! A Moogle, yes. A Moogle. And a decidedly dusty one at that. Might this be one of your acquaintances, Ilya? Most intriguing. Is it alive? It is nothing like I've ever seen before. Can we keep it? Moogles are not pets. Don't just stand there. Get rid of the thing. You're the liberator. Liberate this vessel of that pest. Oh dear. This poor Moogle. Am I interrupting? Oh, please, do go on. My acceptance into your fine troops' ranks can wait until until all have said their piece, Kupo. Guards, get this. Mont Blanc. The name is Mont Blanc. Denzian of Dalmasca's desert, seeker of thrills, adventurer extraordinaire. But you may call me Mont Blanc, Kupo. Dalmasca has long been known as a melting pot of a myriad of cultures, where minor races such as the Sikh, the Banga, and the Vaira might live in relative harmony with Hyur, Elzian, and others. Yet there is no record of a prominent Moogle population. Most likely because we are neither prominent nor populous. My people are nomadic by nature, ever drawn to the elusive frontier and the freedom she promises, Kupo. A Moogle? Of course I'm a Moogle, Kupo. You think the adorable wings and the fluffy pom would have given it away? Now, about my admission to this majestic... I will allow no such thing. The Majestic is the Empire's preeminent theatre company. We will not sully its good name by granting refuge to a fluttering ball of fur. Furthermore, how in the world did this abomination board the Prima Vista in the first place? You made it cry. By means of his wings, were I to guess. As for his admission to our company, I do not seem to recall race, creed, or allegiance on my list of prerequisites. Do you? No, father. Very well,
So
then.
I'm gonna have to dip. I am falling asleep in my chair. I got the next part of this unlocked though, so it's a fair bit. It's a fair
Hey.
bit of stuff.
Yeah, no worries, man. Look, you're tired. Go get some rest.
I
And we'll speak
When,
to you anon.
when Smiley's back, we'll be able to pick this up.
Yep. You take it easy.
See you soon.
Very well then, Mont Blanc. What is it exactly that called you to the stage? Our stage. What else? The Zodiac Brave story, Coupeau. Never before have I witnessed something so amazing, so moving. Sitting, well, technically hovering here in the audience of as the story unfolded around me, I knew I was witnessing something special, something positively transcendental, Coupeau. It was then that I realized I either had to be a part of it, or go to my grave a bitter and broken Moogle. Was this realization before or after you swore you simply had to become the realm's greatest marauder, Coupeau? There's two of them. Why is there two of them? Hurdy, how did you... And this one has a harp, okay. Perhaps you'd have more success at running away if you didn't reveal your grand designs to every other fool you happen to meet, Coupeau. Was it not but 20 nights ago you took up the axe, Coupeau? Now here you are professing your passion for the stage by carving even a single notch in your haft. Do you not remember? To he who churns the butter goes the sweetest bread. But how is one to savour said buttered bread if his head is in the belly of a fearsome beast? You accuse me of giving up when I merely come to the realization that continuing would end in failure? Only through a change of course could I reach my final destination, Coupeau. And what destination is that, Murmur? What destination is that? Murmur? Where, are you sure it's not Geomancer? Arithmetician? Templar? Do not bother answering, Coupeau. We all know you'll be singing a different tune come cock crow. That is where you are mistaken, Hurdy. I was destined to be a thespian. I can feel it in my fur. The role of Delita was made for me. Made for me, Coupeau. Coupeau. Enough! The actors in our company trained at the Empire's finest institutes. They represented the pinnacle of the profession not only in Garlemald, but across the entire world. A vagrant bat mole like you could never hope to share a stage with such artists, let alone play the part of a hero like Delita. You yourself admitted you were too craven to face a solitary beast. How do you imagine you would fare against a pack of theatre critics? Any troop would need proof of valor before it could even consider. Craven? Call me a cheat, call me a cur, but do not, sir, call me Craven. I accept your challenge. Slay one foul beast by mine own hand, and the Majestic Theatre Company will accept me into its ranks, Kupo? Wait, I issued no such. You are all here witness, Kupo. When I return with the head of a terrible beast in my gore-stained hands, you will be honor-bound to welcome me, Mont Blanc the Murmur, into the fabled ranks of the Majestic. Good day! Wonderful. What do we do now? What do we do? We do nothing. If that Batmole wishes to throw himself on the horns of a stampeding does, I will not stand in his way. I believe the proper term for degradation is molebat, and I should warn you, Moogles do not kindly to those who use it. Why must you always put yourself above others, brother? Did you not learn nothing from Argath's wretched example? Mont Blanc would never have set off on this fool's errand had you not made the challenge. If anything befalls my brother, his blood will be on your hands. Ilya, you are the only one among us capable of locating Mont Blanc and preventing disaster. On behalf of my brother, I beg your assistance. Shortly after arriving here, I was presented with a study which suggested that consuming large amounts of honey improved brain function. The results were so compelling I almost felt moved to try, until, that is, I saw the work had been commissioned by one of Eorzean's foremost confectioners. It made me long to return to Sharlayan. Forgive me, was there aught else you wish to ask? Okay, there's actually information there. How did Ramza come to be so thoroughly obnoxious? He and his sister couldn't be more different. Moogles are prominent players in Ivalician legend, but none of the tales mention their capacity for flight. Something lost in translation, perhaps? You saw the poor Moogle. He won't last a day on his own. You must find him and bring him back, I beg you. I apologize. I must learn to control my anger, but sometimes it can be difficult. My brother can be rather simple-minded when it comes to such matters. Thinking to impress the Warrior of Light and her companions, Mont Blanc would likely choose the scene of your recent exploits to prove his worth. Meaning Rabanastra, if I'm not mistaken. Pardon my language, but that Ramza really is an incurable little prick. Is he not? How dare he speak to his sister and Moogle in that the Moogle in that manner? I couldn't decide which was worse, the things he said or the way the principal sat back and let him say them. But I suppose it is none of our concern for now. Let's concentrate on the task at hand, finding the Moogle before he does something we'll all regret. What say we start nearby? Pier number 2, perhaps? The Falcon Porter tells us that he sent a traveling tells us he set a traveling blacksmith away to Yangjia, not a bell passed. And why would that be of interest to us, you ask? Because said peddler of iron and steel was seen to be carrying a bag stuffed to the brim with, and I quote, albino mole fur and purple bat wings. Mont Blanc. Not that we look like that, Kupo. The quickest route into Dalmasca is via the One River and its western tributaries. If Mont Blanc is bound for Rabanastra, he will seek passage from the Glittering Basin. Yep, away we go. Oh, I got something new. Flourish. Grants you the effects of flourishing symmetry, flourishing flow, and threefold dance. Okay, so I can pop that and it allows me to do Fan Dance 3. So which one is... Silken... Oh! Flourishing symmetry and flourishing flow. Oh, okay, and then... Which basically allows me to then activate, like, Reverse Cascade and Fountain Fall, or Rising Windmill and Blood Shout. Okay. So it allows me to proc those instantly. Okay. Oh. Red Chocobos. Oh, hey, Kazushine. Mont Blanc, what were you thinking? Have you any idea what you've put your brother through? He was worried sick. Both Hurdy and Ramsar were right all along. I'm a failure, a flop, a failing, flapping, foppish failure, Kupo. How could I play the part of a hero if I cannot even ruffle the feathers of a single measly bird? The audience would see right through me, like the spineless jellyfish I am. Now wait, Mont Blanc. Not everyone can be a hero. Not even most heroes. Yet the bards sing of the man who deals the final blow. Yes, the bards sing of the man who deals the final blow. But what of his cadre of loyal companions? Do you think Delita united Ivalician on his own? Do you think Ilia was alone when she liberated Almigo? Not all wars are won on the front lines, true, but you are never alone on the battlefield. Never alone? So you're saying you'll always be there for me? For Mont Blanc? I think she was speaking metaphorically. Let us not dwell on the details. The day is saved and Mont Blanc has escaped sans scratch or single to show for it. We should return to the Prima Vista before our luck runs out. Back we go. That's probably the closest one. Yes, I do seek passage. Thank you very much. Well. Things certainly escalated. Please, this ship is a place of peace. Release my sister, or you will answer to me. When the cat's away. Put that damnable thing down, Ramsar. You're not helping matters. We have no quarrel with you or yours. We only seek aid in finding our leader. Bag and Gamnum. You seek our help? You who threatened to kill my father? Who stole his work and made fools of us all? Never. Silent, Ramsar. They have armor. We will hear what they have to say. As I said, we have no quarrel with you. We only did what was necessary to secure an audience. We surrender our weapons and offer your journal as an act of good faith. Yep, drop the weapon. I think that boss probably taken by the aura side then. This is all rather a lot to digest, but your claims do coincide with what we have learned about the aura sites. You're saying that the crystal did something to our captain? After being emptied of Argath's will, the Duma sought that of another to sate its appetite for ether. You're saying that the crystal ate our captain? Not his body, no. Only his soul. His soul? Tell me, what, in your opinion, was your leader's deepest desire? What was it that he longed for above all else in the world? Why waste your breath reasoning with these lizards? They showed themselves for the beasts they were when they put a knife to your throats. First mole bats, now lizards. This one's tongue is pure poison. The boy can call us what he pleases. For our past failings, we deserve no better. Your failings? 30 summons have come and gone, yet not a night goes by that I do not wake and sweat at the memory. We were Fusiliers in the Dalamascan army, stationed in the royal stronghold at Nalbina. Nalbina fortress was reputed to be impenetrable. It fell to the 4th Legion. It fell to the 4th Legion, proved a turning point in the Imperial campaign, dealing a crushing blow to Dalamascan morale and ultimately marking the beginning of the kingdom's end. Bagnam was our captain, and once it was clear that the day would not be ours, Prince Ralsar, commander of the garrison at Nalbina, tasked him with one final mission. Our unit was to escort His Highness's twin sister, Princess Ashley, away from the fortress and thence to safety, but things did not go as planned. I still remember the words she uttered as she lay dying in the captain's arms, but a stone's throw away from where the Garrismith's waterway drains into the sea. Even as the fog of death descended upon her, she smiled and told us the very people who had failed her. To survive. For as long as even a single Dalamascan stood, our nation would never truly perish. But it should not have been us who survived. By failing to protect our charge, we betrayed the princess and her memory, and brought shame upon our race. So yes, we are naught but cold-blooded lizards, deserving of whatever scorn you deign to heap on us. I think we may safely assume a deep-seated hatred towards the invaders of his homeland, coupled with the self-loathing born from a sense of powerlessness. The darkness that lurks in the heart of Bagandap is little different from that which drove Argath, the self-same emotions which that were sought to nourish the Duma. Stop speaking in riddles, Charlene. She's saying your brave captain will eventually turn into a monster, or rather, more of one. Garlean lies. What they say is true. If we do not find Baganam and the Duma soon, none of us are safe. Present company included. Do you have any ideas where he might have gone? Any at all? Wait, look at this. Something has been added to the final page of my journal. Then the captain must have put it there. Only he had access to it, until we found it in the pack he left behind, that is. Is this Dalamascan? Indeed it is. It says Ridorana. The lighthouse? Why would he write that? And in the old man's journal, no less. There is a place. There is a place on the Valnard Sea, part of the south of Rabanastra, where the ocean tumbles into a gaping maw, more than a mile across. The Ridorana Cataract. Legend would have us believe that it is the entrance to the hell of water. Many scholars seeking to prove otherwise have descended into the chasm, some even by airship, but no one has returned. I was not expecting this twist. Do I know of Ridorana? Of course I know of Ridorana. Now, have I been there? No. You cannot say that I have, Kupo. Ridorana? If it were up to me, I would never go near that, near the place. You see, we desert Mughals are not, how would you say, in our element around water? Alright, we cannot swim. Sink like sledgehammers we do, Kupo. Alright. We Banga live long. Any other race would think it a blessing, but to me and mine is a curse. More summers means more suffering. It is all true. My brothers and I were Fusiliers to the royal family, and Bagannam was our captain. We only laid down our flintlocks once we realized our failure. Ever since laying hands on the Duma, Baganman has acted strangely. He began speaking to the stone as if it were Prince Ralcia himself. At first, my brothers and I thought it was in jest, but he continued long after he fought us all abed. Oh, okay. So that's interesting. That means that Genomus was, when he was talking to his wife, and it was the aura site? And Alma can hear the voices. Okay. Tell me, is a Radorana truly as magnificent as they say? You have never been there? And I was thinking you might have something to contribute. Okay, Ramza. The Banga who took us hostage were once royal fusiliers. Whatever could have driven them to this life of villainy? The Garleans. It appears yesterday's enemies is tomorrow's friends, but then where does that leave us today? All that I know about Ridorana, I learned during my lessons on Dalmascan geography, but no mention was made of Ivalician legend. While Principal Genomus seemed convinced of a connection, I believe I shall reserve judgment until more is known. Is there aught else you would like to ask of me? No, I'm good. I must admit to knowing little of Ridorana, save that which Lady Makoto shared with us. But we expend valuable time and resources traveling to such a before we expend valuable time and resources traveling to a remote place, I must review my notes and see if there is any mention of the Abyss. We shall share our findings as soon as we learn aught of interest. Genomus and the Sun are ready to present their findings on Ridorama. Our studies reveal that Ridorana is the name of both a massive gap in the southern Valnard Sea and the lighthouse once manned by the Royal Dalmascan Navy to prevent ships from succumbing to the cataract's currents. I stress once manned, as the tower has lain empty since its candle keeps abandoned. Their candle keeps abandoned their post after the fall of Rabanastra. But if Pheros Sirius offers any indication of what can befall a lighthouse in the absence of its caretakers... Yes, but the real question is how all of this ties with the Ivalician legend. A cursory examination of the Zodiac Braves' story reveals no mention of a Ridorana. Yet it seems foolish to assume that a name could not change in centuries since the tale was writ. So I thought to cross-reference texts on modern Isbardian history with our translations of the Durai papers. And after an exhaustive re-examination of my ancestors' notes, I discovered that there was not a single entry on Ridorana. And while mention of the Valnard Sea was abundant, I found no reference whatsoever of any cataract or lighthouse within its waters. Rams's discovery prompted me to examine the mystery from a different perspective. What if there were no mystery at all? What if, at the time of Delita's rise, the chasm did not yet exist? There is more, but only a visit to the lighthouse will enable us to confirm our theories with any certainty. Our first adventure, how exhilarating. Who invited me, you ask? Why, that tall one over yonder, with the face, Kupo. The tall one with the face, okay. Do not be fooled by my brother's false bravado. We are from a tribe of desert Mughals. Many of us have never seen more than an oasis pond, let alone an endless ocean. The mere sight of water should be enough to frighten him back onto the airship. We do not ask that you forgive the past actions of our leader, only that you show him the same kindness that you would anyone in need. If anything were to happen to the captain, I am not afraid to speak what my brothers are thinking. The captain was a fool to believe that the Duma could bring back our fallen. Now his faith in the legends and fairy tales will be his end. Ooh, excuse me. It is as Ramses said, only by visiting the lighthouse will we be able to confirm our theories. All I know about Ridaran... Okay, you've already said that. More. Why the sudden reluctance to reveal their suspicion? A lack of certainty never stopped Ramza from pronouncing things in the past. Pronouncing on things in the past, or his father for that matter. We are bound for the lighthouse then. Of course we are. But do not try and tell me this has anything to do with... But do not try and tell me this has anything to do with helping the Magna. The Riddlerunner lighthouse lies far from civilization. You would be wise to provision for the trip here in Hinagashi. Venturer always comes prepared. Of course. I'm impressed how the Magna got onto the airship in the first place, but okay. That's an impressive lighthouse.
You're not impressed by the chasm?
It is a giant waterfall. At the end of the ocean? I guess the world is flat. Here there be monsters. Something is very wrong here. Mayhap it is best if we split our fellowship into two parties. One to delve into the tower depths and one to observe from afar. As acting expedition sub-leader, I appoint you captain of the first. As you may use this spyglass to aid in your search for the missing lizard. Damn it, brother. Where are you? I can't get over and talk to Ramza, apparently. He's just over there looking. Captain! Captain! Give us a sign! The lighthouse looks like it's seen better days. I dare say we have a handful of Imperial dreadnoughts and 30 years of disrepair to thank for that. Shivering. Me? My fur is simply standing on end from all the ambient ether. Yes, ambient ether in the area. Can't you feel it, Kupo? Don't worry, Captain. The lot of us are with... this lot is with us. They won't hurt you. Where in the king's name are you hiding, Captain? That's the destination. I'm going to go further onwards, though. I can't go further onwards. I can go further onwards. How far can I go?
I've never actually explored.
I mean, technically I shouldn't be exploring. I think I can go all the way up to this golden door. There's something sparkling over here. Ancient engraving. I don't want to interact with that.
Won't make a difference.
Yeah, probably wouldn't actually, because I meant to use the spyglass first, right? I don't think I can skip objectives. Lo, seeker in days unborn, God blade bearer, know you. This tower challenges the sky. Where the watcher, the ward of the three waits, soul hungry, unsated. This location appears to offer an adequate view. Climb up and scan the area for any signs of Gamnan. Oh, okay. I can't go any further that way. Oh, we found him. You found him? Let me see. He needs our help. Prince Ralza. Princess Ashley. I know you cannot forgive me. Nor should you. It is my fault. I could not save you. I could not save anyone. Anyone but myself. I'm so sorry. Bagamnum, wait! Traitors, have you no pride? You treat with the very men who laid waste to our homeland. You are mistaken, brother. There are no Imperials here. We've come to help. I'm looking like a Legitas. I know what I see. My own kin siding with the enemy. How dare you stay my audience, the princess? The Duma. It's him, Kupo. It's showing him what he wants to see. It has him, Kupo. It's showing him what he wants to see. Witch! Murderous! Oh no! Gunfire. Oop. Bagannam! So, this is the end. Recite the words, satisfy the covenant, relinquish thy soul unto me, and be granted that which thou desires most in the world. Sword in hand, a warrior clutches stone to breast. Look at me, brother. Look at me! In sword, etched he his faded memories. Do not, don't you die, not yet. In stone, his tempered skill. We promised we'd all go together when our time came. You can't leave us here. By sword attested, by stone revealed. That light. Where have I seen it before? Oh no. Well, that's not good. Whatever you are doing, you need to leave the lighthouse right away. Right away, do you hear? Well, that could have gone better. I was fully prepared to fend off the abomination when he vanished. Kupo, I dare say he took one look into my eyes and lost the will to fight. Don't think so, Mont Blanc. Don't you tell me he's gone. He's not. He's stronger than that. He's the strongest banger you'll ever meet. He'll tear his way out of that Lu Cavi and crush it under his foot. There can be no doubt now. In the wrong hands, the aura size is a danger to us all. Something must be done, and quickly. Had Bagannam not stolen the Duma, he would still be alive today, and we would not be faced with confronting another Lucavi. The lizard only has himself to blame. It's rather mean of you. The captain's dead. I saw the light leave his eyes, and now we're alone. I will not believe that there is nothing left of a Bagamnan in that creature. We can still save him. We can. According to Father, the Durai papers speak of the Auracite as a holy stone, but I see nothing holy in what it did to Argath and Bagamnan. A most interesting twist. I had assumed the Auracite would act more swiftly upon the weak-willed, but mayhap I was mistaken. Could it be that the opposite is true? That the possessed of a strong will are more susceptible to its influence, not less? There are so many questions. But we are not entirely without answers. Is there aught else you wish to know? I think my brother has made more than enough fun for today. Kupo, perhaps it is time for a sleep spell. Alright. Make it sleep 3. It is as we feared then. Bagamnan's soul is lost. Annihilation. As much as I wish it were otherwise, I fear Bagamnan is beyond saving. Yet we cannot suffer what is left of him to become a distraction. Father, is now not the time to abandon this quest? We are meddling with forces beyond... Enough, Alma. We adults are talking. Ramza, I don't think you're an adult, but sure, okay. While Ilya was searching for the lizard, I inspected an area of exposed foundation at the base of the lighthouse. And you were right, Father. The lighthouse is built squarely atop the ruins of what can only be the clockwork city of Gorg. The what work city of who? According to the Zodiac Brave story, the clockwork city of Gorg was a metallic metropolis wherein airships, automata, and other technological marvels of the age were first conceived. Little is said about its location, however, save that it was far away. While the Durai papers do not say a great deal more, they do mention that the land upon which the legendary city was built was severely limited, an inconvenience that forced its inhabitants to build up rather than out. Which led me to ask myself, what if the reason land was limited was because the land in question was an island? But that still would not explain the omission of the cataract. It is inconceivable that the authors would neglect to mention so prominent a landmark had it existed. And then I found it, a lone passage regarding Gorg's fall. While the particulars were missing, it appears the city was abandoned after an explosion that left half of it in ruin. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Something went wrong. They caused a giant explosion which caused the tear in the land. I believe that this explosion may have undermined a portion of the seabed. It needs only have been a small area at first, one that could well have gone unnoticed during the Exodus. As time passed, however, the waters would have continued to wear away at the rock, slowly widening the gap until what lies beneath us today. This would explain why there was no mention of Ridorana prior to the present era. Come, Father. Will you not tell them the rest? Of the possibility that we Garleans are descended in part from the displaced citizens of Gorg? It would explain how the Empire was able to forge its armies of iron even before the discovery and application of Algian technology. And it may also explain why the legend of Ivalician has resonated with our people for centuries, despite the fact that the Lost Kingdom was, as far as we can tell, in quite a different corner of the world. An interesting, if somewhat ambitious theory. But to return to your original claim, it is your belief that Ridorana Lighthouse stands atop what is left of... That necklace. Where did you get it, girl? It was my mother's. Your mother's? It was my late wife's most cherished possession. Why do you ask? Bagamnon had a talisman he would wear beneath his jerkin. He refused to take it off, even when bathing. He said it was special. I only saw it a few times, but it looked exactly like the one your daughter wears. And? What are you implying, Lizard? That my sister stole it? Or my late mother? Neither. I spoke of their similarity, that is all. Can you believe the nerve of this boy? He really needs to work on his anger. Enough, Ramza. Our guests are merely concerned for the well-being of their kin. But what of our kin? What of them, Ramza? Do you imagine our kin to be better than theirs in some way? Or anyone else's, for that matter? I apologize, Father. We have but one purpose, son, and it is to prove the existence of Ivalician and clear our family's name. Do not allow anger or hate to lead you from that path. Now, we have a lost city to explore. The Ridorana Lighthouse now accessible. While it may seem that I call upon you when danger rears its ugly head, I assure you nothing could be further from the truth. You seem unconvinced. Perhaps we should speak of this upon your return from the Clockwork City? Since my fool of a brother insists on going ahead with this farce, you have a responsibility not only to ensure his safe return, or he returns safely, but that he does so fully-fledged warrior, though I'd settled for the return safely part if push comes to shove, Kupo. My heart cries out to join your journey into the depths of Gorg, but my head tells me that I would pay for the privilege with my life. I have received no martial training, Ilya. Whatever wonders await you, my place is here on the Prima Vista. Now, okay, yeah, now is the rules. No. This necklace, why is it so special? I'm frightened, Ilya. I can't. Okay, yep, no, that's the same. That's the same, and I assume his is the same. Yep. First, Leslie, and now Gorg. What other wonders might slumber beneath our very feet? Oh, you thought I might be joining you on your journey into the heart of a 1,000-year-old nest of fiends? Sorry to disappoint, Ilya, but a detailed account of any swashbuckling upon your safe return will suffice, or failing that, a body. That would make for quite a story. Now is not the time to get your fur in a fizzle, Mount Blanc. Breathe. Breathe! I am a warrior of legend. I am a warrior of legend, Kupo. Oh, right.
So that was quite a lore dump.
There was a lot in there, yeah. There was quite a lot that was revealed in all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, I went back into here. My bad. Oh, talked to the wrong person.
Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, in a sense now then, they're actually placing... They've now placed... What? They've placed... I'm going to be ending, by the way. It's getting late. But they've now placed this world in the same world as Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy XII.
I would disagree with that.
But they've given large links to it. I mean, it might not be the same, but I mean, if they're talking about Ivalice, and you're saying that Ivalice is the same setting that Tactics and 12 was in,
Yeah.
like that.
But is it not also a possibility that the same or very similar events played out in two different worlds?
It is entirely possible, yes. Because, I mean, they have made, like, obviously, in the Omega quest line, in the 8-man content, they've made reference to other universes, in essence.
Yeah.
Well, it may not even be other universes, they're just saying, like, other planets. So it could be that the other quote-unquote worlds that exist with it, the other Final Fantasies as they exist as games on their particular planets are just in either other solar systems or galaxies or something.
Yeah. I mean, have you heard the fan theory linking Final Fantasy X and 7?
Yes, I have. That 10 is essentially the world that 7 is, but in the past, like distant past. I believe it's that way round.
Yeah. It's 10 is the past.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's the same world is still unclear.
Yeah.
But they link the Albed child genius in 10-2 to 7 because they're both, well, the kid's called Shinra.
Yeah.
And the theory is that he established the Shinra company, whether that was on that planet or whether they traveled to a different planet.
Yeah. Because, I mean, obviously, they have already made mentions of, like, Genova is from another planet, right?
Genova was from space, yes.
But, okay, yeah, from space. Whether they were from another planet or not is debatable, but yeah. So weren't the weapons also from there?
No,
From
the
space?
weapons were
Are the weapons
effectively part of the immune system.
of the planet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Designed to wipe life out on a large scale to help
Reset.
reinforce the life stream.
Yeah, to reset the live stream.
Yeah, but there's a lot of little things like that throughout the Final Fantasy series,
Hmm.
where there might be links, there might not be. Nothing is ever really confirmed,
Yeah.
but to my recollection, I believe they have said that 14's world is not the same world as
Okay.
Tactics and 12.
All right. Okay.
It just so happens that very, very similar events played out there in the past.
Yeah.
Even though both worlds have the error.
True.
Although I believe they were called something completely different in 12.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same as the essentially the Lullafels are. What were they? What were they called in?
Ah, no, well that's very different. The original starting races
Yeah.
were made to be basically identical to 11.
Yeah.
In the hope that that would encourage people to transition, that they could effectively remake the character they had in 11 in 14.
Right.
No, so that was a deliberate design choice, not a story choice.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Protagonist's theme, background story theme, and world maps. Orchestron rolls. So the ones that we're getting from this are probably all like some of the sounds that you would hear normally in 12 or Tactics.
Yes.
That's pretty funny. I like that.
They do that a lot.
Yeah.
They'll reimagine, redo, remix.
Yeah. Well, I liked the
ah.
the dancing mad themes.
Yeah. Battle on the Big Bridge.
Yeah.
I believe the soundtrack from the Doom Train fight is based upon the combat theme of 6.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's tons of it.
Kind of wish that... oh no, I just realized I'm going to anger the demon. I didn't even get a chance to do anything for that one. Oh well, never mind. Doesn't matter.
You know, what would you rather eat your soul? The Auracite or the demon?
The demon. Because at least it'll be gone then and I wouldn't be twisted. But so though, what I was going to say is that at least for the trials, that if we had an extreme version of the Battle on the Big Bridge, so that could be in here.
I don't think there is.
No, I don't think there is.
And because they're optional, they wouldn't show up in the book.
True. Which is why they need to make Gilgamesh one that is mandatory.
Well, when they kind of did that, a lot of people got angry. People who don't like the Mandeville content.
Fair enough.
Because you know all the shiny, glowy artifact weapons I've got.
Yeah.
Mandeville weapons.
Yeah.
And you've already encountered the fact that Geralt is basically hoodwinked and strong-armed into
All
every
of it.
expansions.
Yeah.
The Endwalker one has him involved with the Mandevilles.
Right.
But in order to access that, you needed to have completed all of the Hildebrand
Oh, so it
up
made...
until that point.
So to get those ones, it made the Hildebrands required?
Yes.
I'm assuming
And
they have rescinded that since.
no,
No? Oh, okay.
no. But a lot of people were like, I'm not happy about having to do it because I don't like the Hildebrand content. And my response to that is, well, don't collect those artifact weapons then. I don't like the field content. So I've never attempted those artifact weapons that are tied to that.
Yeah. And
So-
we are going to be doing that at some point.
Yeah.
Well, at least you get a chance to do it now. Well, yeah, you say you don't like them rather than not doing them.
To me, because part of the point of the field content was to appeal to the people who like the hard, grindy content style.
Yeah.
So they're made in that vein,
Yeah.
and I don't like that kind of content.
That's fair.
The whole, consequences and punishment for death in zones where a single mob could kill you, and you've got no real way of getting across them.
Oh, is that what
Well-
all of this field stuff is actually like then?
Yes,
Ooh, Jesus Christ. Alright.
it is easier in groups
Yeah.
because you can overpower.
Yeah, but it's getting a consistent group that want to do it and everyone all being on the same page, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the four of us, the group we have,
Yeah.
should be able to do the majority of it.
Yeah.
The final parts of Eureka maybe. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this as unspoilery.
It's fine. We'll you don't have to explain. We'll come to it when we come to it.
I'm going to have to explain in advance. Because I know Mox will want, if you put in the time,
Yeah.
you're going to want to see the conclusion.
Yeah.
And this is what I need to explain. Finishing Eureka and Bozja, the two field contents.
Yeah.
Requires, I think, 48 people.
48.
224 man.
Bloody hell.
And access to that is tied to a set of conditions being met in the field content.
So it's going to take liaising with external groups.
Yep. And I'm not sure, I can't remember whether this is Bozja or Eureka.
Hmm.
But if you die in the instance that is spawned, you need like a massive 48-man team to go into,
Yeah.
you're booted from it and you can't complete it.
Until the next
You have
week
to
or...
basically re-trigger the spawning and go back into it.
Ugh. Yeah. Jesus. That's
So
rough.
Yeah. Now, in a lot of places, you'll get groups who just love running that content.
Mm.
So they will be in the zone, asking people if they're looking to do it. And they'll accept them in, and basically they'll organize a group. And then they'll raid lead. And they'll have other people triggering the conditions to spawn it.
Right.
But that's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what I will say with that, and as we get into it, I'll re-mention it and make sure Mox is aware, is that actually fully finishing and completing all of that content may be exceptionally difficult.
Right.
Especially on stream.
Fair enough.
So we can look into it more when we're starting it, when we're going into it, when we're getting towards that point, if we get towards that point. But
Yeah.
it's going to be rough.
Yeah. All right. Well, YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. It helps the channel grow. Get us notified by the algorithm. Those comments down below, so we'll respond to you in kind. This is a blind playthrough, so mark your comments with spoilers at the beginning. Yeah, let's be used my discretion. There'll be a link to Mr. Mox's channel down below as well. There's also links to the Lore Objects merch on my throne list. They help me out a ton. But until next time, YouTube, you stay safe in this broken masquerade.